Before the now, but not quite long ago, a forgotten memory. There were once two cities. Machina, dedicated to happenstance knowledge. An icon of the spark, mainstay of flint and steel. And Obscurata, namesake of the rhetoric of whispers. The alphabet of sighs, the writ of storm-front skies. Sister cities vast on the expanse, bound eternal by a towering ziggurat. Janus topped, back to back, light and dark through the ages. Into the excesses. Vacated realms unbidden, hidden within avenues of wires connected, interjected by boulevards of desire and fingerprint smears, gears of soot and char from epoch fires. By electric thoroughfares, amulets and basilicas flittering within a gaze, skittering within a haze, analog to digital, Solomon children cleaved on Wednesdays. Swiven of the homespun weave, eclectic, dancing between wrought iron minarets, sphendrenals of sentiment and great expectation. Come round again, come round again. Ebbing to subside on grubby fiefdoms, anagram to the chronograph, winding down to come round, winding down to come round again. approaching critical mass. Whispering cantics, exploding from lips, sparks parched, choked on the treasons to the dust, rearing breathings, breathing to unceasing of rust. Bellows to the epoch, fires temper, hate but phase. Annulets embezzle but literally within a gaze, awakening the raising of the erectus cigarette. Midwived from vision comes Oculus Sapien.
coalescing into form. No more than synapse signed and sinew. Neuroplasticity becoming a vista imbued shimmering like morning dew. A mosaic of hues. Red shifting. The Oculus Sapien caught up in a foresight call and hindsight thrall. Breath drifting down a cloistered and forested hall. Vigil and moat. Sigil scripted devotee. Enters the rogues gallery. Accosted into the edifications. To forego the illumination. Temple, touch the screen. Take the manna to the feast of the broken machines. Scribe the edicts and gospel of waveform deities. Cosine saints martyred, blood tide of applause. See, initiates to the android exodus. Leave mantles on the floor. Take up the Joseph cloak and take the egress out the door. Digitized confessions provided for the kilobytes left ignored. Turn to visions broadcast in high defin theme to salons and parlors. Flesh from beyond the antennae array, craving more than a mirrored satellite display. Flesh from beyond the antenna array, staving off repetition from mirrored satellite display. Juxtaposed admissions and transmissions, obsessions and transgressions. First cycle, welcome. If this is your first cycle, welcome. Ascend to the preparatory queue for assessment. Welcome. If this is your first cycle. Gather electric totems for the curio tithing. Line screens, 4 of gallows. Wired pixels are
missions, intentions, inventions. Juxtaposed admissions and transmissions, obsessions and transgressions, intentions, inventions. Touch the screen. I'm not a robot. Come to the temple, touch the screen. Come to the temple, touch the screen. Fingerprint hole priests cling to the frogs that birth identity. Scribe the edicts and gospel of waveformity. Facial recognition, saints martyred, ebbing blood tide of applause. See. To the frogs that birth identity. Scribe the edicts and gospel of waveform deities. Facial recognition, saints martyred, ebbing blood tide of applause. See.
continually revised, purloined from the disguise. Antiquary, burdened by sight version, caught into the spin where truncheons reign. Exclaiming the virtues of calm, the grip of the balm, echoes of alms scribed into whispers, steps rhetoric, eyes, underways, seem started in the nerve untimed ways, where dirt is instant fervor, escape into the murmur and mummery. Exclaiming the virtues of calm, the grip of the balm, echoes of alms scribed into whispers, steps the Oculus Sapien, rhetoric byways and alleyway hideaways, where denizens in fervor escape into the murmur and mummery. Snatching riffs from clouds, like captured lightning sparks. Upswing on the fourth beat, pause for breath, and hit repeat. Now comes fades to grey, in bohemian operatic theaters. Quicksilver bomb rivulets, pool inside cracks of retrograde. Stationary while in motion, an ocean of hipster bow progress. Top donor digitized samurai, claim sounds of new Hiroshima. For the cosplayed geisha, bosom stuffed inside digitized brasiers. Feed rhapsody, trots critical in masks. Plutonium 239. Plutonium 239. Plutonium 239. Shockwave thrills hide within little pills, raving for the communion, promising the numb that comes, spinning like dictaphone benedictions from dervish queens dressed in habits of neon. Back alley stages, pandering rhythmic ecstasy, chords and flat, D sharp and sharp but flat, downswing on the unthe. Staccato bosses, supernova into a whale of castrated banshees crooning, androgyny hymns of starstruck unity, black leather corseted lipstick divas, mourn cock rock impresarios, hid behind electric ticket booth, basking in the afterglow of fame. It's wavering fame. The haze of intercession and proclivities of ascension. Wonders chained by pharmakia, Pandora panacea. Punkunukunuka bonds, tunicate tights, grok into the night, claimants beggared by the blight, by Midas calves bleeding, retreat into the hierarchy of indiscretion. Fell thoroughfares indentured to the haze of invention. Conduxis Mercurio, do we appeal? Conduxis Mercurio, do we conceal? Conduxis Mercurio, do we reveal? Come we do the winner say that? Come we do the winner say that? Come we do the winner say that? From out of the east, pulsing through haunted eaves, strumming fingers rattle across hake-equal keys of locked manses dens where absinthe drinkers harmonize fairies haunting melody, blowing from horizon, sunsets, cold sea to flame. An orgy of science dwell, massacre minstrel gigolos, sexing the art of sound. Sounding the art of masochism, bound by noir, supplicants of the quell. Performance rites to Saint Julian. Caduceus Mercurio, do we appeal? Caduceus Mercurio, do we conceive? Caduceus Mercurio, do we reveal? Can we do intercede on? Can we do intercede on? Can we do? Can we do intercede? Oh, yeah. Upswing on the fourth beat, play, pause, rewind to the repeat. Cementing staves of quicksilver bombs, cracking of the retrograde. To sanctify the calm, spreading the music of spheres into days. Rotating to humming thrums in bohemian operatic theaters. Rotating to humming thrums in bohemian operatic theaters. Rotating to humming thrums in bohemian operatic theaters. Rotating to humming thrums in bohemian operatic theaters.
sucker and quarters, and dilettantes reveling behind the keening wind. The Oculus Sapien, more substance than form, an essence shorn by a whisper, clived by a glance. Sent from a bygone days, miasmic in tune, and heavied by a swoon, obscuring the half-light. Decay, decay.
Lay down the fractured indentures to a pause. Venture to be vetted by syncopate initiates, laboring in thunder and timpani keystones. Drumming backbeat, lightning sparks flinting, glints from eldritch mist facing against dawn. The steel eyes of totems and voltives of fog, weaving within and without the looming shout.
Of straw and fetishes of chaff, readied for bonfires, gloom and sick room gasps, wandering laughs and torrents stirring the ash, painting audiograms out of mainstay epitaphs, scream their conduit seance from the induction. Digitized into despair, revenants aching, breaking in cause, neophytes in gigabytes, and the spaces in between. And the spaces in between. And the spaces in between. Spaces in between. Parsonage of voltage and kilowatt scream!
rush of milkmaid blood.
Of bread and a crisis nexus vexation. Crisis nexus vexation. Demise diatribes, breath on every exhalation. Demise diatribes, gaff on every exhalation. Demise diatribes, whimper on every exhalation.
Tangled in holographic scheme, forlorn into digital code, claimants of the Ars Robotica, hypnophage, drifting beyond sight and reason, deleted threads cut in twain, marked and measured for the season, randomized. Data banks flooded to overload, streamed into an illusion. Fork biomes rushing through the tomes of an elusive sea. Bug tributaries, waylaid dignitaries. The Oculus Sapien enters. The monastic fantastic, seeking clarity.
Of a moment bleeding, visceral beyond the midnight edge, honed on whetstones of Loman's glitter as breath heaves to hoe, ebbs to flow, superseding the grieving afterglow, blowing daggers and cleaving shadows by moonlit mosaic snipes keening rendered to pastiche and mache, night stilettoing illusion. fantastic in memoria. Oblique within a cathedral gate, where icons weep prolific hues, imbued on cracked cobbles lingering, staining pilgrim hems and treads across forested paths and milestones, demarcation, constellation in the hesitation, adverse of destruction and rebirth, spotlit by sodium and smeared with stars inside a shadow box of silhouettes, riddled with fetishes dancing truant. Fetishes dancing truant. Show phantasma of the monastic, fantastic, haunting the deja vu incommunicado.
cartograph clouded and enshrouded, course plotted from demise into skies. The pinprick vistas scattered by the unseen hands, constellation, ledger, margin, and compass rose of the expanse, waylaid into a trance, bartering happenstance, scattering zodiac